We're back. Yep.
This the podcast version of Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
It's pretty much what it is, anyways.
Yep.
Yep. Do you have a lovely turkey day, whatever you want to call that thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we had last year we did it at our house. This year, well, we did have a mini thing at our house with just the family, but we went to my sister's place. They had 29 people.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
2 turkeys, ham, like a flotilla of food.
Yeah, that's a lot of people to feed.
Yeah, they pulled it off. I would have been really stressed having like 5 people at my house, but
I just get stressed being around that many people in general.
So Thanksgiving is my annual carb fest. So actually the only thing I eat that's carby is the stuffing and the bird, but I eat like a shit ton of it. But it's so good. Like there's this tryptophan thing with turkey. Like everyone thinks turkey makes them tired. I actually think there's other stuff. I don't remember this off the top of my head, but I think there's other stuff you eat at Thanksgiving that's actually worse for you from that, perspective than the turkey. But no matter. I passed out like stone cold, literally both times we had this dinner. So like Wednesday night with just the 4 of us, I slept for like 90 minutes, dead, like right after it. I got up, went upstairs, laid down, and just crashed. And then at my brother-in-law's house, there were like 3 of us actually, but some of the guys kind of went into the second room they have that has a TV in it and muted the game, and I easily slept for 2 hours. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was either the food you were eating or that glass of whiskey that you had.
It was some
meal.
Beautiful combination of alcohol and carbohydrates.
Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving, Brad?
I mean, it was, we ate the bird. Actually, twice, because we have 2 Thanksgivings. We have Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving at my parents' house, and Thanksgiving on the day after Thanksgiving at my in-laws' house.
Okay.
So I've had enough turkey for about 5 months, and we'll.
Yeah, we actually do turkey again on Christmas, but man, I got to tell you, that day, Wednesday, Stephanie was cooking out there, and I had to do Windows Weekly, which was like the worst. Not the show, but just having to do it like on my son's driving home. All I can smell is this thing in the kitchen, and I could have destroyed it with my bare hands, like just eating it standing there. I was so happy to eat this thing. And I finished eating it last night for dinner. We pretty much have, and that was just like we got like a little 15, 16 pound thing. Like the 2 turkeys we brought over to my sister's were, I think 26 pounds, 29 pounds, something like that. I don't remember, but really big one, 28, 29, something like that.
Yeah, so Crazy. It also looks like when you weren't slaying the carbs, you were you poked around with some hardware, finally.
Yeah, so I've been threatening to write these reviews for the past several weeks. I still have more to do. I actually, one of the things I did, because I'm so far behind on this stuff, is I actually went back and noted down which devices I had gotten on which days, organized them in order, made sure because there's certain tests I have to do for each of them, for battery life and performance and so forth. Wanted to make sure I got those things done in the right order. I had often had several machines going at once. I have the machines I have left to do, like the yoga no one's ever heard about, the Elite X130, or the Elite 1030 X360, I think it's called. The MacBook Air. I've got 1, 2, 3 phones reviews to rate. And I also have this little guy, which I've not, in fact, I'm going to break this out today. The Huawei has a fitness band, which I've actually had in the house for about 2 weeks, that I've not even taken out of the packaging. But the thing that's interesting about this is, if you look at it, what does it look like, Brad? Does that remind you of anything?
It kind of looks bitty. Like a bit. Like a...
Well, no, I was going to say the Microsoft band.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of Fitbit, but yes. It does
well, it is very much like a Fitbit, of course. But spiritually, it's color and has GPS and everything. It's interesting, so I'll look at this too.
I wonder how the rubber holds up.
Oh, no, this is made by a credible hardware manufacturer, and it's going to be fine. Also, I haven't written about this yet, but you may recall last week we had the passwordless Microsoft account thing.
With the YubiKey?
So, Yeah, so YubiKey was nice enough to send me like their whole little package of YubiKeys.
Ooh.
See that or not, but so there's the one I already had, which is the NFC full-size USB version, but there's also two versions for USB-C. One is a nano version that you can, it's almost flush with the port, and then this like I kind of like this tiny one too. Like you get these little the little versions that have they're kind of flush, so you can just kind of leave them in there. So that's kind of cool. But I need I think this stuff only works online and only with Edge right now. Like ideally, this would work when you sign in.
Yeah.
And then it would work everywhere, right? Chrome, whatever. So I think that's how this is going to evolve. So I think the MSA thing, which is for websites only, I believe, is like the first step, and there'll be more of that. So yeah, that's pretty much my December, I think, is what I just described to you. Yeah, so there's more to come, I think is the point.
Fantastic. So during this time, you had some hardware. I owned a Google Home for about 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah. So
what happened? What changed?
So I went to Best.
Small, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's alarming to me like how small it is. It's weird.
Well, that was one of the issues. So I was at Best Buy with my kid. I was looking. I don't need. This is very much a want. I guess stepping back a little bit, I have a timer built. I have a dual outlet switch right by our front door. There's two spots for toggle. One of them is a toggle switch, and the other one's a timer. It's been a nightmare of my life trying to get this thing to work. It is of the highest grade Chinese electronics, and it just doesn't work. Like I tell it to turn on at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. and it turns on when it wants to. It is now, I set the time when the daylight savings times changed, and it's now off by 2 hours. This thing's it's garbage. And rather than doing the adult thing and ripping that out and putting in just something else or whatever, I'm putting Hue lights that will have their own time.
Hue lights.
Yeah, for outside.
Okay. Yep.
And so I was at Best Buy, and they had one of the light bulbs I needed, and I ordered the other one from Amazon.
So if you don't mind me interrupt, because I literally just bought 4 Philips Hue lights that I intend to use outside. But when I looked at what they had specifically for outside, because what I was looking for was like an outside flood kind of light.
Yeah.
I only saw stuff you could put on the ground and aim up at the house, like little.
Yeah, they have those. These were just the bulbs, just the flood.
Just about the actual bulbs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I did the same thing. But anyway, okay, continue.
Anyway, so the whole point of this is, I don't even know where I was going. Oh, so I'm at Best Buy looking at light bulbs. And I was like, oh, look at this thing. First off, these things were supposed to be $150. They were on sale for $100, which is a pretty substantial price drop. I mean, for something that's brand new. So I bought one, $100. Brought it home, and I was really happy because, to your point, it does Google Photos very well, and it's great. It brings all that stuff in. But it would not work with my Hue lights. Like, it kept dropping and saying, could not connect to Hue, could not connect to Hue. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe this will fix itself. But it was definitely this device because my phone was still working. My wife's phone was working. So it was this, whatever, one thing.
Okay.
I can't get it to work with my garage door opener. And I was like, Jesus. Which works with Google Assistant, but it does not work with the Home Hub. I don't know why, but okay, so that didn't work. So then
it should work.
It should, but it didn't. It was not supported. Right. And then, so it says it connects to Spotify, which is actually what got me to buy this thing. And it does connect to Spotify, but what I was hoping is that when I was playing music on Spotify, it would show up on the display, and then I could use that display to control things. Yep. But no. And then it didn't connect.
So I've done that. Like, not on that. I mean, I have the...
Maybe mine was just broken.
Let me try something real quick, if you don't mind.
And then the thing that pushed me over the edge was the lack of Sonos integration, which I think I knew going into that, but it just...
So I just used the Google thing to turn off the lights in the living room.
And it worked?
Yeah. Hey, Google, turn on the living room lights? Because it's not really dark in there.
Yeah, actually, I have a picture of what it kept telling me. Let me... Yeah.
It's funny. It turned them on, and then it said, it looks like the living room lamp is not available right now.
Well, see, there you go. I don't know if you can read that, but it says, it looks like Philips Hue is unavailable right now. And I can assure you that it was actually available at that time.
All right. I may have a solution for you, which I will discuss with you offline.
Yep. Anyways, so I played with it, and it got to the point my wife was like, so now we just have a photo frame, that doesn't really work with the hue light, so I can't trust it to do that. I'm just going to use my phone anyways or scream at the Sky computer. I was like, eh. And then the very first thing you hit on was the display was just a little too tiny. Just a little.
Yeah. Right. There are two things about that device I don't understand. The size of the display.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how small it is. And then the lack of a camera, which...
Yeah. Which
we've
that
not
doesn't
done it
bother
with my
me.
son yet, but we tested it, and you can do a duo, video call with the thing. It's really kind of cool, And in the case of the Lenovo, you can rotate it into portrait mode, so it's got that kind of natural look to it.
The camera thing doesn't bother me so much. I'm actually kind of a fan it doesn't. I mean, it's just one less camera for me. But it was...
Yeah, you can switch it off, by the way. There's a hardware shutter,
The screen was too small for the pictures, I think is what it came down to. And then it was just like, do I really need this thing sitting here flashing lights all day? And so I took it back.
Literally this morning I was making coffee. My daughter's home. Oh, you'll love this. My daughter has gone to school approximately 3 days for the entire month of November through a variety of snowstorms, flooding, whatever, Thanksgiving holiday. She had a half day on Wednesday, like kids do, and then was off Thursday, Friday, and she's off again today. And you may ask, why on earth would she be off the Monday after Thanksgiving? It's because today is the first day of the hunting season, and they closed the school.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's the 1800s, Brad, and all those kids are out there bagging meat so they can eat during the winter.
You know what you need to get your daughter for Christmas?
A rifle?
Camo overalls.
My daughter is a vegetarian.
I know, that's what makes it all the better.
And, yeah, she's kind of alarmed by some of the... We've seen a guy like in a ghillie suit stand up in a field I'm not kidding, on the side of the road with a crossbow and then walk... I don't know where he was going, but he was laying in wait like up the street. Like I'm talking like 60 seconds in the car to get to this place. What is... It's a little different from this.
Yeah, it's there's going to be some people who hunt that are going to hate on me, but I find it a little unsportsmanlike when the biggest threat to a deer is actually a van on the highway and not a hunter. I mean, it's...
Sure. I mean, I'm not against hunting. In fact,
Sure.
I wouldn't mind trying it. I don't think hunting is something you dabble in. I would probably be a disaster from like a gun safety perspective, but
at least you're honest.
But why am I bringing an automatic weapon to a deer?
So where do we put the claymore?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want this
You'll
deer
hear an
sneaking up on
explosion
me.
and then the guy in the next tree just starts giggling. That's how you know I'm nearby.
My God.
Jeez. Anyway. Yeah.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
You would bought and then return to Google Home.
Yeah, and that was it. That's...
Well, the other thing you could do is a Google Home Mini is $25 on sale right now.
Yeah, but see, I wasn't buying it for the assistant. I was buying it for the kind of... I could go to this thing.
There's a visual. I should go try this. Like there is a dashboard, and you can, it's supposed to be 100% identical to what's in the Google Home app, which you can use to control Philips Hue lights and all that kind of stuff. The one thing I would say is, like, having done this, I don't find the control as good as the one in the Philips Hue app. So if you want to, if you have like multiple lights and you want to really control the scene, like, they've like built-in scenes, or you just want to have each one have different colors, like we did some red and green lights now because it's Christmas, or it's sort of Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Because the second Thanksgiving is over, it's Christmas.
Right.
Which it is in our case because my son was here for the weekend. Obviously, we got to
it
get
is.
that going.
This is these, like, if we look at the judges, the ruling is that after
it's completely acceptable.
Yep.
Yeah. I my wife puts on the Christmas music the second that the pie is served. I have no idea what I was talking about. But there's a UI for this, and it's a a visual UI, like something you touch and stuff. But I don't honestly, the Google Home stuff, and I assume it's identical on the dashboard of the Home Hub or the smart displays. It's just not as sophisticated, and so if you have like specific color needs you want to do, for the scenes or whatever, you're kind of better off using the app, the Philips Hue app.
Yeah. Anyway, so because I don't mind putting myself on a pedestal, this also happened this weekend, Mr. Thurant.
Nice.
I don't know if you
What
can
it-
see. If you can see,
Yep.
this says Amazon hot new releases, and look who's #1 in technology.
I see. What I'm most curious about are the ones that are below you, right? So what, like the one in the middle looks like what is that?
Never Home Alone, which I don't know what that one is. This one looks decent. It says the game
Yep.
console. Something about consoles, but that's all that matters.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
I'll take partial credit for that. I've hyped this book incessantly,
you have. You did. You've done a good job. You're
like the hack that I am. But but I think it's, I think the people who would follow us on Twitter or watch this podcast or follow the website, whatever, are the audience for this book, and I think they're going to love it.
yeah. We will. It's coming out Thursday. Hopefully
Thursday, nice.
Yeah, this Thursday. So, you got anything else, Mr. Paul?
No, I'm going to try to get through this week.
As we all are.
Yeah, you almost have to like ease into a week like this. Like I kind of wish this was like a 4-day week, so we could kind of just get back up to speed. But no, like I said, I have a bunch of hardware stuff I'd like to kind of get going on. I almost said my Surface Laptop 2 review would be done soon, but actually I did finish that yesterday. So I can't really, I don't want to promise when, but this week I'll try to get a bunch of that stuff done. And hopefully I won't get any more new hardware in for a little while. That will be nice.
Yeah. Yep.
How about you, Brad? What's going on with you this week? Other than the big news of the book.
Yeah, that and like a sinus infection or something, which I'm hoping I can just NyQuil away.
Just man through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I don't even know. Just trying to get this book stuff all done, and that's that.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure I'll be talking to you
tomorrow.
Well, with it being a work day and whatnot. And
yeah. So, all right, everybody. That wraps it up for today. We will catch you back here tomorrow on First Ring Daily.